everyone. Welcome to the Commando Cast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mike, and today we're going to have a short discussion about GenCon and the ever-changing meta.
All right, guys, so no surprise to anybody. This has been talked about a lot on the internal boards and all the various Discords and other content creators. And, of course, neither Mike nor I were at GenCon, but we need to talk about the results because it affects all of us, not even in the competitive, but also in the casual. So, yeah. Mike, what happened at GenCon ultimately?
Yeah, so Ewoks happened.
They showed up? Or?
They showed up, and then I heard that they were very well represented, actually, even... not just with the Hyperloops, but several people brought them as well. And they ended up taking the day. Mike Gem threw together a bonkers optimized deck and just wrecked a bunch of face. The final match was 2 rounds that were it combined 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It was a bummer. I actually missed it. I was watching the stream in between work, and then on Friday I had to... actually go do some interviews and stuff, and by the time I was able to get back to my desk, it was like done for an hour or so.
Yeah, you were getting ready, your popcorn ready to watch the long match, and then you're like, what just happened?
Well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we're not going to go through his deck or anything like that. They'll do that. Today, the day we're recording this, he dropped it this morning, dropped his deck with a write-up, and maybe it was yesterday, either way.
Yeah, it was really interesting to read, too. I thought
it was,
the decision-making and why some cards and not others were... I could always tell when I read stuff like that, it's like, and this is why I finish 9th and 10th, because the getting into that level of the 29th and 30th card is beyond what I'm capable of currently.
Yeah, I mean, so fundamentally he ran the Hoth Ewoks, which everyone is familiar with. We talked a bit about that. I don't know whether that's what the community's calling it. That's what I'm calling it, just because it's the Hoth Trooper Ewok, right?
Right.
With the AR, which is kind of funny because usually when you run AR on that deck, or if you sit down against that deck and they're running AR, the right play is to take the shield, so then they actually start with their battlefield, because they're going to get it anyway. So, so anyway, I do want to give a shout out to Bowie Sessions, the graphic that we're showing over the screen right now. This is his work. So this is the pie chart breakdown of the full field. This is Rev 3, so this is the last one he posted. It did include both Palpatine and Maul. But the real highlights of this are that diceless characters, meaning some form of Ewoks in some form, maybe Knights or maybe Night Sisters, I'm not sure.
Sure.
But, diceless characters were about 15% of the field. Raylo, I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised Raylo was as lowly represented as it was, just because a lot of people like that deck. So 7%-ish for Raylo of the field.
So this is like, of all the decks, 15% of them were running some sort of diceless character.
Right. So this is of the 140 some odd. I think it was 142 legal decks that made. I think there was 144, and there were a couple guys that got dropped because we heard one guy showed up with a guard and a blue hero deck, which is obviously an old card.
Right.
Something just mistakes like that. So.
Wonton Destruction.
That was it. Was Wonton Destruction.
Super spicy tech include, by the way.
Just not legal.
Not legal, but
and that's stuff like that happens. So, Afra only 12% of the field. I think that's about on par with what I would have expected.
So I want to talk. This pie chart's very interesting, but I think if you stop and think about if I only have to have one diceless character to qualify for that part of the chart, that's a pretty small qualifier than running
I don't
both
know
Rilo.
That's necessarily the case, but. I don't know the details of how he did that, but I think it's reasonable to assume that the majority of the diceless falls into the Ewoks category.
Yeah,
there's a few.
Right. Sure.
But so because remember, there's no double counting here, right?
Yeah.
So
no Padawan. Maybe you don't think there's a whole bunch of Padawans decks showed up?
Well, not in standard. Oh, you're talking younglings?
No, sorry, younglings, not Padawan.
Yes,
younglings.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
And then droids at 25% of the field, which go ahead and remember that 25 number because I want to talk about that. I think that's maybe lower than I thought as well. I was thinking it'd be
30. I was thinking.
Yeah. So, but it's right in that range. So,
did you see that someone tried Mill? I thought that has to be. A
couple of people tried 2.7% tried Mill.
Yeah.
Mill's dead.
Was that 3 people?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It's 5.
Oh
right?
My gosh. That would have been a really hard
2%. So yeah, it is. It's 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
right.
It's
so,
crazy.
Yeah. So. All right, and then so they broke to, it was the top 32. No, it was the top 20 some, right?
Yeah, so it was X2s, and then the people over top 16 had to play off against each other to fit in. Or actually, 12 to 22 had to play off to fit in.
So it was top 22 was the cut. So it was a 6-2 cut. So of those 22 decks, again, showing up the graphic, he did another great job. So I want to thank him. Again, we're giving him the shout out there on the bottom as well, because this is his data and his image. So droids, even though they were 25% of the whole field, they ended up being 40% of the top cut field, and this is of the 22. So there were 6 droids that were the 5-die Satine with Fateful Companion. 2 of those were chopper droids, the 5-die aggro-ish version, not really aggro. I also recommend you go read Jonathan Magnuson's write-up of his deck, kind of explaining how tricky that deck is to play.
Can I just say that deck is red hot?
It's a pretty brutal little deck.
Like, the fact that when you run the 3 droids, opens up conversions and droids it out, all of a sudden activates all 3 characters, and just it's super good. And it plays like stairs, like on Chopper, like where you power action to play the upgrade for free, and then override it, and then play it for free again at your discard the next round. I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah.
So good job, guys.
Yeah, and then Han Droids made it as well. Ewoks were, and at this point he specifies Ewoks versus Diceless, so clearly there was some non-Ewoks in there, right? But Ewoks 13% of the field. Afra 22.7%, so another increase there.
In the cut. This is in the cut,
right? Yeah. So because Afra was only roughly 10% of the whole field, but 22% of the cut. So, and then this Jabba supports made it, and then I think what really surprised was the Raylo.
Yeah, so only 6% of the field, but then basically...
No, Raylo was like 9%, right? No, you're right. 7%. Yeah, so, and then, so...
That's pretty cool. I think that's a good, and I'm sure you might be going here with this, but this is a good indication of what decks were really stronger than others.
Well, and it's nice, and I mean, it's relatively diverse, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you have 6 different decks in there, 6 different types of decks in there, right? I guess technically 5 groups if you count droids, but those 2 droid decks are very different.
Yes.
Right?
That's very true.
So there's and then, Joe was on like the... kind of a drive-by shooting deck version, right, as well, which is a kind of cool, right? And that's kind of his. We've seen that from him before.
Creep speeders dropping the pain.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I was a little disappointed personally that droids didn't do better, because I still think that Fateful Companions is unfairly costed. I think it should be a 3-cost plot, right? I had the video on that. Took a lot of flack for that because it didn't do well, but. I think it's one of those things that falls into, it doesn't, I don't think that something has to win a tournament, win a national to be considered to be broken. Right?
I feel like too, to look at the mathematical data between Faithful Companions and other plots, and then what it gives you, I think if you just stop for a second, take a look at the math, I think it's one of those really hard things to dispute, that it's obviously not just a little above curve, but well above curve. Yeah. So
I mean, I think the counter argument people are making, which is fair, is that so what? And it's like, yeah, it's above curve, but so what? Which, I mean, that's fine.
I mean, maybe every game has to have like something that's too strong.
I think Fateful Companion is fine. I just really don't like the 5-die with it. But on the other hand, and I know you were taking flack for me indirectly, right? But like, I don't think Ewoks are broken. Like, I have no problem with Ewoks.
No, and that was totally just. Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, Ewoks are hard. They're certainly hard to deal with. I've been enjoying a Maul deck a lot lately, and I just got totally murderized by a Ewok deck on Monday, and it wasn't even close. Like. And I mean,
Maul's rough with you because I mean you just have low health and no shields and
can't heal yourself. Right. You can't there's very little you can do. You have to get off Fear and Dead Men a couple times and then get lucky. And I'm running double active cruelty. I'm running double I'm running double Fear and Dead Men. But your dice are very susceptible in an Ewok deck to being removed. That deck runs 4 double die removal cards. For a single cost.
You're talking Garbage Chute and then Blaze of Glory.
Oh, I didn't even think it was Blaze of Glory. I was also the Flee the Scene.
Oh, Flee the Scene. Picking.
That's usually you have to reserve that for a little bit later in the round as a Ewok player. But it's still like you getting blown out's very easy.
Yeah.
But
Ewoks, I mean, they have very easy counters, right? I mean, what happened on Saturday, right? So Saturday at Gongai, I get a text about 2 hours before as I'm throwing my Padme Boosh deck together, and I get a text from Mike saying, "Hey, bro, can I borrow some Padme dice?"
Right.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Using them. And then Brenton also showed up with...
So if I had the dice, we would have had 3 of the...
3 Padme Boosh.
Yeah, 3 of the 13 of Padme Boosh.
Yeah, because I was expecting to see a bunch of Ewoks. And
how many Ewoks did we see on
We saw 0 Ewoks.
Good job! Good job, Saturday!
So...
Way to buck the trend and not play the...
Yeah, so I don't know. Deck. So, I don't know. I think that's enough about Gen Con. I mean, you can go over it and over it. But droids are strong. Like, I realized droids didn't win, but I think droids are very, very, very strong. That 5-die droid deck, I think we're going to see a lot of, because, like you said, it's pretty.
It's good.
Pretty brutal.
It's fun. And before we move on from Gen Con, I just want to say the stream was excellent for what If you saw the Keyforge stream, I don't know if did you get a chance. So Keyforge stream is all official FFG like announcer booth, and they had they did it.
FFG did it?
Yeah. And then, we did it, not we, the Hyperloops guys and the, I'm trying to think.
You just meant we as the community.
Yeah, we as the community.
Yeah, but
they
the Hyperloops and Golden Dice.
Yeah. And, they did it, and it was really fun and well done, and the table was really cool. It's just amazing to me to see how much care. I shudder to think what could happen with this game if we had a company that wanted to support the game as much as the community wanted to support it. That's it would be massive. So that'll be my last slam on FFG for the cast. But yeah, that's good job to everybody who did that cast. It was super fun, and I love the if you've never been on one of those streams before on Twitch, the Twitch channel chat is comedy gold. It is the best time you'll have all week at your computer at work. I'm just saying.
It's the best time you'll have all week at your computer at work. Fair enough. All right, so let's talk tourneys real quick this week. So, I mean, Gongai we already talked about 3 Padme Boosh. What else? I mean, we were talking. There was kind of a lack of degenerate decks on Saturday, right? Yeah. So, and I'll just Saturday used to be for me anyway. I would bring my nasty competitive stuff on Saturdays, and then Mondays is the one I run was my casual night, and we were talking about this last couple of weeks how we felt like in the last 6 months that is dramatically flip-flopped. Right. I think maybe we have more new players on Saturday versus what we're getting on Monday. Maybe I don't know, but it's interesting how that works. Yeah, we have some newer diverse players that play on Saturday, and I'm talking people who don't always play games that play, people that play a lot of games but never this game, young people, old people. We have all kinds of people that play on Saturday, and it's super good, and I think it shows in the decks that are being brought are super weird, diverse. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're weird. They're still not we still had a Vader. We still had. Honestly, I don't really remember. We saw a couple droid decks, but yeah, no, you're right. And then what happened on Monday? So Monday, which I didn't go to. Yeah, you didn't. So. You didn't go to Monday. We had. I thought we had some some nasty decks. We had some decks that aren't the funnest to play against. Right. We had somebody who brought Droid Mill. We had someone who brought that discard side on Chopper's no joke. Yeah, the Kira Daka draw your whole hand trick deck, right? The what's Val Vengeance, deck. Someone brought that. So we had regular droids, and then someone brought a really good, a very well-made Ewok deck. So it was one of those things where if someone new had shown up with hey, I just bought this cool, I brought Raylo. Well, actually Raylo may have done okay, but no, you have to learn how to play Raylo for it to be good. So they would have been kind of in trouble and maybe not have had a whole lot of fun. So I don't know. It's just the way it is. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Yeah, no. And I have to adjust my mind for that type of environment too. It helps when I go, you know what? I don't even care what happens tonight. And I'm not always that way, but I would say that
Monday I felt pretty good, even though I lost a really nasty game to Ewoks. I still had a good time, and it was it was a really good. I thought it was a very good Ewok deck.
Were you running your Maul deck again?
I was running. I switched it. So I played Maul Watto on Saturday, which is like my.
This is a really good deck.
It's my baby. Like,
so what you ended up winning?
I ended up winning.
So the last two games, the games that'll go up the day after this, and then the day after. So Saturday, Sunday's videos are Mike winning.
Yeah, and then Brenton, who I played in round 2 of I think. Round 3, okay, yeah. But round 3, he made the suggestion, hey, how about Jabba in that spot? You get easier access to Delve.
No Retribution,
an extra hit point, and he has 2 focus sides. So on Monday, I made the switch to Jabba just to try it. I didn't have to change very many cards. I ended up adding a couple more yellow events and dropping some of the sabers out of it, just because at that point, I'm really playing for delve into fist or delve into speeder tank at that point. So and I would say it was easier to get off, but Retribution gives your opponents pause, and
Retribution, I think Retribution is the only way to play Maul.
Yeah, it wouldn't have helped me against
Ewoks
because they don't care about 1 damage versus 6 damage. But
sure.
In a 2-wide matchup, though, like if I'm playing against a 2-wide, that's not even true because Maul really only hits 2 players. I just feel like in a deck that's running 30 health, like you're going to try to take out Maul's. Like you don't even care about Retribution. You're just like off. But it does mess with the math because he basically has a side that you can't. Like the 1, you're never going to remove the 1, right? So I can.
Well, but you can because he can power action it, right? So like,
yeah, it's a weird, right? It's just one of those weird things because if you've ever seen me roll my Maul, like it will roll blanks, like it will roll blanks if I power action, except on Saturday.
That's not true.
Everybody gets lucky once in a while.
No, but yeah, I highly recommend you check out those videos. Mike's Maul deck is Mike's Maul Watto deck, which I've dubbed the Gamblers because it's just like, I'm going to roll this in and hope I hit. I'm going to roll this in and hope I hit. I'm roll this in and hope I hit. Hey, it works.
I had a very simple deck building strategy. I basically picked every single card that I can find except for Fist, because that's just bonkers. That's easy for Watto to abuse. Mm-hmm. And that was my whole idea upon the deck is I was like, man, Watto could really abuse Maul. Like, I mean, your 66% chance of hitting on a Watto power action. And it creates so much value like out of it. It's so fun.
When I was doing the videos, you dropped the pulse cannon on Maul or on Watto, and I was like, oh, of course, because it's got 4 damage. Right.
Yes.
Like you just Watto into that,
right? Yeah, that and I love like when you're sitting on a single resource and you have Watto there and you power action Watto into the pulse cannon range and you hit it and you go to 2 and then you can power action the pulse cannon easier. It's so stupid.
I believe that's what happened. It's like, oh, Mike doesn't have enough to. Oh, now he does.
Yeah, super fun. Very fun. Obviously, it's not great, but it is.
Yeah, you were in the 2.7%, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
It's funny if it had healing. Like I feel like maybe there's a variant that runs Witch Magic, and maybe I could figure it out.
Well, I mean, you can run him and Talzin and Retribution. I don't know, like the multicolor, especially red. Like I have a hard time getting away from red because there's so many 0-cost options.
I can get away with 6 even cards, right? That's kind of my threshold for if I'm going to run Witch Magic.
4, no problem. 6 is tough.
Because it's really like, and if you're ever playing against me and you see me roll out Watto first, it's because I have a Forsaken in hand, right? So it's like the most broken, like because it's so good.
Although actually, I think. I don't know, after watching your games, like, you rolling out the 2 Disrupt on Watto, which happened several times.
Yes, that is
huge.
That's my favorite sight on him. Like, I don't even... I mean, if I need the money and I roll it, that's great. But I'm really looking for that 2 Disrupt. Because then what they do, they automatically play their weapon and they have no money for removal at that point. Because they're like, oh, I got to get off my cash. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yeah, I was impressed. That was a cool deck, so... Yeah.
What
else are you on? Any special decks you're thinking about?
So, I've been kind of in love with spamming ever since I saw Steve run like hero vehicle spam. So I've been trying.
This is like a holdo.
Yeah, like a holdo, because you know how much I love holdo. I just like finding a way to get out multiple vehicles. The game is so upgrades are dead. Like unless you're running Raylo, like there's
other than pulse cannon.
Yeah, than pulse cannon. So it's so hard right now to run any. And then like even I ran a Maul deck, which you think would be like this heavy like upgrade, right? I'm gonna run sticks. It's really just a support deck. Like Maul's a head fake. Like he's there. I mean, he's not a head fake. He's there to get 10 to 15 damage on the board before he dies, and then I finish off with support. So I think that's a cool. There's a lot of really fun, like the mining guild tie. I think is underrated right now. Speeders, newsflash, those are real good. So there's a lot of fun 2-cost vehicles. The only thing I can't seem to get to work really well is the X-Wings, because I can't seem to figure out a way to draw for them. And I think I saw somebody was running a hero version with Grand Design. And they were...
just for the extra draw.
Just for the extra draw. Because you really, in order for X-Wings to even be a good value, you have to get 2 out. And not even good.
No,
a value.
In this game... Yeah, exactly. In this game, I think you have to have 3 out before it's worth running it over something else.
Yeah, and when 4 come out, it's bonkers, right? Sure. But there's a lot of games when you don't even get to the 20th card in your deck, right? So that's one of the reasons why I think the 3-white Afra deck was so strong for so long. Is that deck? It ran 30 good cards and it saw every single one of them every game. It milled itself out and then killed you. Like that's all it did. It played every card it had. So really good 3-white Afra players could actually kill you with their last card. They knew it. They were going to see them all, and they would hit a droid tank, right, for the win, or something like they just knew. So there's some
pod racer down, right?
Yeah, right. There's just some super strength in that, and the heroes. I thank God they struggle with something right now. It's getting through their deck.
Yeah. No. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually looking. I'm also looking at I've been frustrated that I can't get Django to work.
Django.
So I'm gonna try the Maul Django.
Oh yeah.
Single die Maul, dual die Django. Right. It comes out exactly to 30. We'll see. I'll probably play heirlooms in there for the redeploy. Right. But I imagine the Maul would actually be the last target. I don't know. Like, what would you target? You said
that's the problem with that deck is, man, I don't even know. I guess
the problem is I think they can leave Maul for last and just remove his die every turn and then take Django's piddly 1 or 2. Like, I think that's the problem in there. But then once you get a Gauntlet Rockets on the table or something.
That's why I really like red with Django, because red makes Django sing, because then he's got crappy dice until you play a Pulverize or a
Focus Fire.
Focus Fire, thank you. That is nice, so real good.
Yeah, I mean, your Mud Trooper, your Rainbow Django was pretty good. I was running Price Django, and I liked that a lot for the thermal, or the sonic detonators.
Yes.
I actually like that deck, but like you said, the Focus Fire cheat is pretty strong.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere. Well,
Focus Fire is great. I prefer Focus Fire immensely over Pulverize right now.
Right. I think the reason I had Pulverize in my deck was because of Django's mixed damage.
Yeah,
sides.
It makes sense.
So it was one of those other plays I could get out where, like, I have a 1 stick and a 2 gun and a 1 gun on the witch. That's not very threatening until it's 7 damage instead of 4.
Right. Or even the indirects, right?
So I like the Price Django. I think in a world where Ewoks exist, I think
you need the 3-wide.
Yeah.
No, the Rainbow Django I think we've seen is superior to that, but I just like the speed, and it was something other than Snoke, because that's basically what it fit into, is like we liked the Django Snoke, and I was like, all right, this is not working, and then I fell into Price, who's 13 and has 2 specials.
You're like, that seems to work. I actually think if I'm going to experiment with anything else other than the small vehicles that isn't support based, is I was early on in the, like within the first week, I had started running single dot IG-88 and Asajj Elite, and both are bounty hunters, so both of them proc.
And then you're dropping. Man, if we had one more 0-cost bounty, I think it'd be a different game. But I
had no problems with bounty. I had because
you're running the 2 you're running 4 copies for the 2 0 drops, and then Dead or Alive.
Right. And then I was running a single copy of Bounty Board, so that I could. It was always helpful to get like the extra card draw for a reroll if I needed it, or so that was kind of cool. And if you got them out, you just didn't play it, right? It was a discard, but it was.
We'll see. I think Asajj is going to be really good in the next set when Boba drops. I think Boba Asajj is going to be really strong.
Is he for? Is he a?
He's the same as Django.
Oh, okay.
He's 14. Same as Dengar. Right?
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. That would be strong.
I think that one's because like then you finally have a reason to play bounties because both your characters can get advantages from it.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll see. I don't know. Okay, well. So you'll be working on that. We'll see if I can get time to put my deck together or not. Maybe I'll like run it against Amy and then throw it in the trash or something. I don't know. But I can't do that actually because I ran into another Maul Saber this week. So.
You got another one?
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. So, now I have 2, so we'll probably be running that. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So. We covered GenCon, covered what we're looking at in Monday Night Dice. So what else we got?
I think that's about it. It's kind of a weird period. Everyone's kind of waiting for Nova to happen to see whether Ewoks was like a flash in the pan, or whether droids are going to assert their dominance. You know,
I think, is there a way for droids to do AOE? That's the question. AOE is area of effect, meaning all player damage.
Well, because they can run sonic detonators, right? I mean, they can run V1s if they want to. They can run what's the
V1s is probably better for them, right?
Sudden impact. I mean, they could run with.
The sudden impact. What are they sudden impacting?
Oh, a 3-side on a saber.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there is some. I'm not saying that's great or anything, but there is definitely ways for the. I just think, when you're teching, when the droids were teching to drop a character round 1, which is what a lot of those droids can do, is they'll just X you, right? Like they'll end half your strategy. Well, that doesn't really work against the Ewoks.
Well, we've talked about it before that as long as you can, especially because in the Hoth Trooper version, you only have 4 Ewoks on the table, right? So if you can kill 2 of those Ewoks in the first turn, which I think droids can do, except I think droids is actually okay into Ewoks because you disrupt, so you keep them off their strength and numbers, right? You disrupt, keep them off their strength and numbers, and then you blow down an Ewok. So you don't get, because we've talked about this before, if you can kill 2 Ewoks, you're probably going to win. For first round, you can kill 2 Ewoks. If not, you're probably going to lose. But in that case, if you can be keeping them off their tricks, I think you can just try and keep them off their tricks and take down 1 a turn.
Yeah, and always keep them off 2 resources at the end of the turn. Like that's something I've learned through repetition is that if they're sitting on 2 resources, they're not sitting on a turn move your die.
You can't always do it because of kinship, right? But I don't know.
If you have the ability, certainly try to keep them off that money. That's where I'm thinking Beckett. Like I still want Beckett to work so.
Dude,
bad.
I'm telling you, I can't figure out. I had a 3 die. Well, this never made it into deck. I was just theory crafting it, right? So single die Beckett, single die Jabba, first order Stormtrooper, and double down for 3 delves.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've
you
never
instantly get, like, you're going to get a 3rd resource, and you're going to get delve. Like, you will. With Jabba's
the only reason I've never sleeved it up is because droids, right? So, like, power action. Takes my money.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So... I think it works against everybody except droids.
So I'll give you my little salt moment for Monday night. So I sit down against a droid mill player, and I'm playing my Jabba and Maul deck, and I know I draw the perfect hand. I have a Truce in hand, I have a Delve in hand, and I have a Vader's Fist in hand. Right? I'm first action. That's getting the table. Right? So we pick up our dice. I look at my opponent. I'm like, whoever wins this is going to win a game. Right, so we roll our dice, we drop, the droid player wins, droids stay out, double disrupt, and I'm like, that's just it, right? But I got very fortunate in that game. I rolled the resource on Jabba, right? So I got 1 back, and then I pulled back in a Truce out of the 4 cards that I had, so I was able to double Truce, and then into a fist with no money, which isn't always isn't good, right? And then the next turn it got Flames of the Past because he had milled the first one that I pulled away. So I ended up winning that game, but it was so. The reason I said it was salty because I had called it immediately as soon as he had done the move to me to take my money, and then I was able to claw back because I was, taking that cash. But
Ouch, dude.
I spent 2 rounds trying to play Vader's Fist and it Flames of the Past.
So what was his droid comp for the mill? It was, I assume, single chopper, single R2, 3PO, and Faithful?
He's running 5 die Faithful with Anakin. And the pod racer,
no chopper?
No chopper. And the reason why I think I did so well is at the first activation or second activation of Jabba, I pulled Desperate Measures. And so he knew I had it. So he stayed off the pod racer.
Oh, because you're on Jabba. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was on Jabba that game. So I was able to basically hold off the pod racer because as soon as he dropped it, so I claimed one time he played it, and then the first action round, that next round, I see. X'd it, right? And Xing a pod racer is the best feeling ever against Mill because you don't care about any amount of damage you take. So it was a very good game, but that was my salty moment where I was like, I'm gonna lose this game as soon as I lose Raw, and then I didn't, and then my opponent was like, I thought you were gonna lose. So, anyway, that's what we had going on Monday. Join us on Mondays at Super Play for Mike getting salty because you're playing droids.
Fair enough. All right, let's put this to bed.
Okay.
So, Saturday Gongai, join us there. Monday Night Dice Salt, Monday Night Salt.
Monday Night Salt.
At Super Play in Beaverton, Oregon. And if nothing else, go Commando.
Go Commando.